Greetings, friends. Today I want to talk to you about the shadows and the substance. In the book of Genesis, Genesis 17, we read that God established his covenant, a covenant of circumcision with Abraham. This was a shadow of what God was doing and what God was going to do in Christ Jesus. Of course, the Lamb was slain from the foundation of the world. The book of Revelation tells us, Revelation 13:8. But the Apostle Paul tells us here that in Colossians 2:11, for in him you have been circumcised, not with the circumcision done by the hands of men, but with the circumcision done by Christ. Our very salvation, the circumcision of our fleshly nature, was accomplished in Christ Jesus. We read later that Abraham and Sarah was barren, and God came to Abraham and Sarah, and he told them that Sarah was going to bring forth a child. She was 91 years old when she brought forth Isaac. Isaac represents our inheritance, our salvation. Out of Isaac, all the nations of the earth were to be blessed, and they have been in Christ Jesus. You see, Isaac came forth out of a dead womb, Sarah's dead womb. And he's a shadow of the resurrected Jesus, Jesus rising from the dead. Isaac represents our salvation. You know, Abraham and Sarah tried to accomplish on their own what God was going to do through Jesus. Abraham and Sarah tried to bring forth a child from Hagar, Sarah's maid. But the salvation doesn't come. Inheritance doesn't come through Ishmael, Hagar and Abraham's son. Salvation comes through Christ. Isaac is a pictures our salvation, our inheritance, our life in Christ. God told Abraham to go and sacrifice his only son Isaac. God called Isaac Abraham's only son because he was Abraham's only legitimate son, the son of inheritance. And he told Abraham to go and sacrifice him. And while they were on their way, Abraham and Isaac asked his father, he said, "Where is the lamb for the offering?" And Abraham said, "God will provide for himself the offering." You see, God doesn't need our help to accomplish salvation. It's something that he has done in Christ Jesus. Isaac pictures our salvation. Isaac was as good as dead, but God came to Abraham later and he said, "Do not touch your son." You see, God was only testing Abraham. Isaac is the son of inheritance, and he pictures our salvation in Christ. The Apostle Paul tells us that these things in Colossians 2:17, all these things, all these shadows were only picturing what God was going to accomplish in Christ. Jesus himself is the substance. He is the body. He is the reality. We are called not to get bogged down in the shadows, the things that we're going to picture what God was going to do single-handedly in Christ, not to get bogged down in religion, not to try to work things out like Sarah and Abraham did through Hagar, but to trust in God's legitimate Son, his true Son, Jesus, our life and our salvation.